Hello everyone, my name is Rafi and I'm happy to meet you all, and today we're going to be playing Madolche. You might be looking at my opening hand thinking, that's not Madolche, I don't see a single Madolche card. We'll get there. This is a 60 card pile and it contains so many one card starters, it's unbelievable. So we have a lot of combos to go over. Let's go ahead and get started. The first combo is Emergency Teleport. So, activate Emergency Teleport. This lets you special summon a level 3 psychic monster from your deck. We choose Noh-P.U.N.K Xiamen. Noh-P.U.N.K Xiamen's effect, pay 600 life points, add a Noh-P.U.N.K monster from deck to hand, and we choose the Noh-P.U.N.K Foxy tune. I guess technically this is a 1.5 card combo because we have to attribute a monster from, or discard a card from hand. No big deal. Now we special summon the second Xiamen from deck, and we overlay these two monsters into our Goblin Biker Big Gabonga. Gabonga's effect activates when it succeeds summon, and we draw a Goblin monster, which will be our Goblin Biker Doug Charger. We can use its effect. We detach one material from Big Gabonga in order to special summon it, and then we trigger Doug Charger's effect, and we do not use Gabonga's effect. We add Goblin Biker Grand Breakout from deck to hand. Then we activate Grand Breakout, tributing the Doug Charger to special summon our Goblin Bikers Gone Wild from the deck. When Gone Wild is special summon, it triggers its effect to special summon a Goblin Biker from our deck. That'll be Clatter Splitter, and when Clatter Splitter is special summoned, it revives Doug Charger. Now we can use these two monsters to overlay again into another rank 3. This will be our MX Saber Invoker. Before we make Invoker, we're going to go ahead and use up the rest of our Goblin Biker Big Gabonga. We rank it up into our Xyz Armor Fortress, and then we use Armor Fortress's effect. We detach two materials in order to add two cards from our deck to our hand, our Reincarnation Unveiling Mail and Full Armored Xyz. The reason why we need to do this is because we need 0 materials on the Xyz Armor Fortress to use it as Xyz material. We'll set the Full Armored Xyz and go back to what we were doing. MX Saber Invoker, detach 1, special summon a level 4 Earth Beast Warrior or Warrior monster from our deck, which is our Madolche Mesengelato. Then we'll link these two monsters, the Gone Wild and the MX Saber Invoker, into Moon of the Closed Heaven. We link Moon of the Closed Heaven into Fiendsmith's Requiem, which requires a Light Fiend monster. And with Fiendsmith's Requiem, we will now tribute it to special summon from our deck our level 4 Lacrima the Crimson Tears. Lacrima the Crimson Tears' effect allows us to mill Fiendsmith Engraver. Then we will activate Fiendsmith Engraver's effect from the graveyard, return Moon of the Closed Heaven to the deck to special summon itself. Then we use Lacrima and Fiendsmith Engraver as material in order to link summon Fiendsmith's Sequence. We activate Sequence's effect and we shuffle back the Requiem and the Lacrima in order to fusion summon Fiendsmith's Lacrima. And when Fiendsmith's Lacrima is special summoned, we can use its effect to revive our Fiendsmith Engraver. Now we'll use these two monsters as material in order to overlay and Xyz summon Triple D Wave High King Caesar. This gives us 2 monster special summon negates. Now that we've done that, we can use Madolche Mesengelato and Fiendsmith's Sequence as material in order to link summon Link 3 Madolche Mini Meowcaroons. When Madolche Mini Meowcaroons is special summon, we can add a Madolche monster from our deck to our hand, which will be our Madolche Petting Sesor. Now we activate Mini Meowcaroons' effect, and we're going to target a card in our graveyard, return it to our deck, and then we can special summon a Madolche monster from our hand. It doesn't matter. We don't want to return Mesengelato, anything but Mesengelato. How about Big Gabonga? Now we trigger the effect of Petting Sesor and special summon the Pudding Cess from our deck. And we'll use these two monsters as material in order to Xyz summon Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle. Next up, we'll rank up Glass Souffle into Madolche Pudding Cess Chocolat a la Mode. And we activate Chocolat a la Mode's effect. We return a Madolche card from our deck from our graveyard to our deck. Since it has Pudding Cess as material, we now activate its effect again. We detach specifically Petting Sesor. It has to be Petting Sesor here. And then we get special summon a monster from our deck, which will be our Mesengelato. When Mesengelato is special summoned while we control a Beast Madolche monster, we get to add a Madolche spell or trap from our deck to our hand, which will be Madolche Chateau. Activate Chateau, and that shuffles all of our Madolche cards back into the deck, which triggers Pudding Cess's effect again. It's not once per turn. We detach the Glass Souffle, and we special summon another Mesengelato from the deck. Mesengelato is also not once per turn. So since it was special summoned, we can now use its effect to get another Madolche spell or trap. In this case, we'll get Madolche Promenade, which is a monster negate. Or actually, it's an Omni negate. Set it face down, and then we'll overlay both our Mesengelatos into Madolche Queen Tiara Masu. And then we overlay that into our Madolche Queen Tiara Frase. And finally, we'll use the Pudding Cess and the Mini Meowcaroons in order to link summon our link to Madolche Fresh Sistart. Fresh Sistart's effect says that while it points to a Madolche monster, Madolche spells and traps you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, and neither player can target them with card effects, so our Chateau is perfectly fine. If this card on the field will be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can shuffle one Madolche monster from your graveyard into the deck instead. Madolche Queen Tiara Frase says, once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Tiara Frase by using Tiara Masu as material, and then once during your opponent's turn, you can attach one material from this card, target up to 2 Madolche cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, also shuffle the same number of cards your opponent controls into the deck, and if this card is destroyed, return it to the extra deck. We'll also use the Reincarnation Unveiling Mail that we got from the search, equip it to Tiara Frase so that it can't be destroyed in battle. Okay, so we have 3 cards left in our hand. We have protection for our Madolche spells and traps. We have a non-targeted shuffle 2 cards the opponent controls back into the deck. We have 2 negate special summon effects, whether it's a monster, spell, or trap that would special summon a monster. We negate and destroy. We have an Omni negate, target one face-up card your opponent controls and one Madolche monster in your graveyard. Negate the effects of the opponent's card, and if you do, return the monster to your hand. That also, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a Madolche Xyz monster you control, and attach a Madolche from graveyard. So, Promenade will also refill Tiara Frase's material so that we can keep using its effect. And then at the start of the opponent's turn, we will Full Armored Xyz. We need to get Full Armored Xyz in the graveyard. That's why we're not just Xyz summoning. Full Armored Xyz Arbor Fortress into the Dark Knight Lancer, and then at any point during the opponent's turn, we can banish the Full Armored Xyz to equip Dark Knight Lancer with our Pudding Cess Chocolat a la mode to give it 2,500 attack points, and then it will also non-targeted equip attach a monster the opponent controls as an overlay unit. So that is a huge amount of disruption for 1 card. Let's look at some other 1 card starters. By the way, in case you didn't notice from the fact that my 2 monsters were still blue, we did not normal summon the entire turn. So we still had the option to normal summon if we got disrupted in some way to give us some additional materials for Xyz summoning. Alright, now we're going to look at the 1.5 star card. Alright, now we're going to look at the 1.5 card starter with Noh-P.U.N.K Foxy Tune. This board looks slightly different. So we'll activate Noh-P.U.N.K Foxy Tune's effect. We send any card from our hand to the graveyard, which will pick the emergency teleport so it doesn't constantly yell at me. Special summon Xiamen from the deck. Xiamen effect, we pay 600 to add a card from deck to hand, and that card is going to be Noh-P.U.N.K Rising Scales. Now we activate Noh-P.U.N.K Rising Scales' effect, and we banish Foxy Tune from our graveyard to special summon it. When Rising Scales is special summon, we pay 600 life points, and we special summon the Xiamen from our deck, so we can continue our combo. However, there are 2 key differences. Number 1, we have Rising Scale on the field, which means that we have less space on the board, so we will not be able to make Chocolat a la mode. We're just going to go directly into Tiara Frase, which means we don't have the Sistarts to protect us, and we also don't get the 2 spells and traps from summoning the Mesengelato. But in exchange, we do have the Rising Scale, which says when a monster your opponent controls with 2,500 or more attack activates its effect, as a quick effect, you can change it to face down defense position. So we have a free Book of Moon effect that doesn't target. Alright, Xyz into the Goblin Biker Big Bagonga effect. Grab the Doug Charger. Doug Charger's effect. Detach 1. Special summon. That triggers Doug Charger as a chain link 1, and we actually get the chain block with the Xiamen. When Xiamen is sent to the graveyard, any one of your punk monsters gains 600 attack permanently. So the Noh-P.U.N.K actually has 3,000 attack points, pretty decent. Grand Breakout, Tribute, special summon the Gone Wild. Gone Wild, special summon the Clatter Sploder. Clatter Sploder, revive the Doug Charger. Xyz into the Fortress. Detach 2. Xyz into MX Saber Invoker. Detach 1, special summon Madolche. Link into the Moon of the Closed Heaven. Link into Requiem. Requiem summon the Lacrima. Lacrima mill the Engraver. Engraver shuffle back the Moon of the Closed Heaven. Link these two into sequence. Sequence. Shuffle back the two that are not Engraver. Make Lacrima. Lacrima effect, revive Engraver. Xyz into Caesar. Then link into Meowka Runes. Meowka Runes, add the Petting Sasor. Meowka Runes, shuffle back anything. Special summon the Petting Sasor. Petting Sasor, special summon the Pudding Cess. Xyz into Tiara Sue. And Xyz into Tiara Frase. Battle Protection. Set the full armor Xyz. Pass turn, still have the normal summon. Next up is Speedroid Terrortop. Special summon Terrortop, Terrortop effect. We grab Takatomborg, Takatomborg special summon itself. Takatomborg doesn't win lock you unless you actually tribute it, so we're fine. Xyz into Big Gabonga. Gabonga effect. Grab the Doug Charger. Doug Charger effect, detach 1. Special summon. Doug Charger effect. Grab the Grand Breakout. Oops. No, whatever. Activate Grand Breakout. Tribute special summon Gone Wild. Special summon Clatter Sploder. Bring back the Doug Charger. Xyz into the Saber Invoker. Invoker detach 1. Special summon the Madolche. Here's a great example of what I can talk about here with the full armored Xyz, right? So in this instance, I opened full armored Xyz. Now, obviously, if this was a real game, I would have just used Noh-P.U.N.K Foxy Tune to put this in the graveyard. But what would I do in this situation if I didn't have a way to do this? Because the problem is that Big Gabonga doesn't have enough materials if I Xyz into Xyz Armor Fortress, I can only search one card, which means that I can't end up with Xyz Armor Fortress having no materials with the Gabonga. So what do I do in that situation? I'll show you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to link these two off into Moon of the Closed Heaven. And then we linked into Requiem. Requiem Tribute itself, special summon the Lacrima, build the Engraver. Engraver comes back. Link it in a sequence. Fuse these two into Lacrima. Lacrima, bring back Engraver. Overlay into Wave High King Caesar. Then link these into Madolche Mini Meowcaroons. Meowcaroons effect. We add the Petting Sessor. Shuffle back. The Gone Wild. Special summon the Petting Sessor. Petting Sessor, special summon the Pudding Cess. We are now locked into Madolches, or actually we were locked into Madolches as soon as we use Meowcaroons' effect. Overlay into Glass Souffle. Glass Souffle effect, detach not the Pudding Cess. Oh, whoops. Shouldn't have done that. Oh, that's fine. Alright, Pudding Cess. Shuffle back the Miss Gelato. Effect, detach one. Special summon the Miss Gelato. Miss Gelato, grab the Chateau. Activate Chateau. Shuffle back. That triggers Pudding Cess, detach one. Special summon the other Miss Gelato. Miss Gelato, grab the Promenade. Make Tiara Masu. Make Tiara, or makes a start. Make Tiara Frosse. Set Promenade. Alright, so same end board. Difference is we don't have the full armored Dark Knight Lancer. So what are we doing instead? During our opponent's turn, we can, in the same way that we could activate full armored Xyz, banish in order to equip and then take a monster, we can also, during the opponent's turn, activate the effect of the Goblin Biker Clatter Splitter. During your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, it is a quick effect. You can detach one material from a monster on either field. If you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. And when you detach a material from Goblin Biker Big Baganga, it says, if a material is detached from any monster on the field, except during the damage step, you can target one face-up monster on the field, except this card, attach it to this card as material. So it's the same thing, essentially. The only difference is that you actually have to have an additional space on the board, and your monster is significantly weaker. It's got 2,100 attack points as opposed to like 6,000. You do use 2 less cards in your X deck, and you also use 2 less cards in your main deck. So it is less likely to brick you. It gives you more room for more hand traps if you would just want to end on the big Gabonga board. And it also gives you some opportunities to play other cards, like, for example, SP Little Knight. I prefer the Shark version just because I feel like the Shark version is just honestly better. Like, one of the biggest problems that I have with games is when a monster is too powerful for me to beat over and is also a towers. So making sure that I have a monster that is always going to be the largest on the field is the best way to avoid towers specifically. Anyway, so that's your options there. Our next 1-card starter is going to be Doug Charger, which also includes the Goblin Biker Grand Entrance because it can search Doug Charger. So we'll activate Grand Entrance. We're going to add Doug Charger from our deck to our hand. Normal summon Doug Charger effect. We grab the Grand Breakouts. And then we play Grand Breakout to special summon Gone Wild from the deck. Gone Wild effect, special summon the Clatter Splitter from the deck. Clatter Splitter, revive the Doug Charger. Alright, so in this instance, we're basically just skipping making the Big Gabonga to begin with. Because the Big Gabonga, the only point of it was to get us the Doug Charger to begin with. So now, we don't have a normal summon, but we don't really need a normal summon, and we just make the board. So Xyz into the MX Saber Invoker. Effect, attach 1. Special summon the Mesengelato. Link these two into the Moon of the Closed Heaven. Since you don't have the Big Gabonga, you are missing the monster into Xyz material removal from your board, but I mean, it's perfectly fine. Your board's still pretty decent. Special summon the Lacrima. Lacrima, pitch Engraver. Engraver comes back. Make sequence. Sequence effect. Shuffle 2 back. Make Lacrima. Lacrima, revive Engraver. Xyz into Wave High King Caesar. Link into Mini Meowcaroons. Mini Meowcaroons' effects. Grab the Petting Sasor. Mini Meowcaroon, shuffle back the Doug Charger. Special summon the Petting Sasor. Petting Sasor effect, special summon the Pudding Cess. Xyz into the Glass Souffle. Xyz into the Pudding Cess Chocolat a la Mode. Chocolat a la Mode's effect, return the Mesengelato. Chocolat a la Mode, detach specifically Petting Sasor. Special summon Mesengelato. Mesengelato give you Salon or Chateau. Chateau, shuffle back. That triggers Chocolat. Chocolat, detach the Glass Souffle. Special summon another Mesengelato. Mesengelato, grab Promenade. Xyz into Tiramisu. Xyz into Tiara Frasse. Link into Sistarts. Set Promenade and pass. Okay, fantastic. So if we take a look at our deck, we have, for our 1-card starters, Fabled Lure. You can still make full Fiendsmith combo if you open Fabled Lure, so that's 1. 3 copies of Terrortop, so that's 4. 2 copies of Noh-P.U.N.K Xiamen. The Xiamen starter is exactly the same as the emergency teleport start at the start of the video, except that you don't skip your normal summon. So that's 6. 3 copies of Goblin Biker Doug Charger, that's 9. Technically, Angeli and Petting Sasor are also starters. That just gets you Tiara Frasse, but that's not nothing. So, So Angeli can special summon Petting Sasor from the deck, and then Petting Sasor can special summon herself from the hand as well. And whenever she special summon, you get Tiara Frosse. So that's technically also a starter. That's 11. Lacrima of the Crimson Tears will... No, Lacrima of the Crimson Tears... Well... She mills Engraver, then you link her into Requiem, and then Requiem special summons another Engraver, which has to shuffle back an Engraver, link them off. Yeah, no, that still gets you. That still gets you with the Caesar. So yeah, technically Lacrima is also a 1-card starter. That's 12. Fiendsmith Engraver is a 1-card starter because it gets you the Tract for Requiem. So that's 14. Goblin Biker's Gone Wild. When it's normal summon, you can special summon the Doug Charger from the deck. Doug Charger gets you Grand Breakout, which can then tribute the Gone Wild to special summon the Clatter Splitter, which revives the Gone Wild, and that's still full combos. Yeah, Gone Wild is also a 1-card. Noh-P.U.N.K is 1.5. Grand Entrance is, Fiendsmith's Tract is, Emergency Teleport is. Okay, so that is 3, 6, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Out of your 60 card, 24 starters. Amazing. Now then, for the rest of the deck, we have 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 2 copies of Max C, 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, 3 copies of Fualos, 2 Call by the Graves, 1 Crossout Designator, and 3 Imperms. Just fantastic interruption to make sure that we always win when we go second. Madolche Hoot Cake, this is less necessary than it used to be because basically you wanted Madolche Hoot Cake as a way to make sure that you always had a beast for Gelato. The printing of Madolche Mini Meowcaroons was amazing for Madolche, so Hoot Cake is less necessary than it's ever been, but it is still a good card, especially if you're going pure Madolche, like if you open Angeli or Petting Sasor and nothing else. Good card to have. Plus you can use it to make rank 3s if you need to. The 1 Clatter Sploder, 2 Gelatos, the 1 Pudding Cess, 3 Lancias as well because of Malice, the Noh-P.U.N.K Rising Scale, Nibiru, Reincarnation Unveiling Mail, Madolche Chateau, 1 copy of Madolche Salon. During your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Madolche monster in addition to your normal summoner set. If another Madolche card you control or in your graveyard is added to your hand or shuffled into your main deck by a card effect, set a Madolche spell trap directly from your deck except Madolche Salon. That is mandatory. Madolche Promenade, which is a Omni Negates, and Full Armored Exceeds. For the extra deck, we are playing Fiendsmith's Lacrima, MX Saber Invoker, Goblin Biker Big Gabonga, Madolche Queen Tiara Frosse, Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle, Madolche Pudding Cess Chocolat a la Mode, Exceeds Armor Fortress, Madolche Queen Tiara Frosse, Triple D Wave High King Caesar, Full Armor Dark Knight Lancer, Fiendsmith's Requiem, Madolche Fresh to Start, Moon of the Closed Heaven, Fiendsmith Sequence, and Madolche Mini Meowcaroons. All of those were used in the video, so you know what all of them are for. My name is Strafi, and I hope you enjoyed this video.